was, holding way as the sitting governor of Kaduna State. So, based on the information produced to court by the DSS, the court had no choice but to adjourn the matter to the 23rd of April for its arraignment. This is to enable the DSS produce him in court for arraignment. And this is what happened today. But the El-Rufai supporters are not taking it lightly. They are saying that this is a gimmick, this is a plan to keep him away perpetually from from circulation, so that what he stands to gain, he won't be able to do anything. So he will be reduced to nothing. And they are fighting a lot of battles. Same today, his matter of fundamental human rights bail application also in the FCT High Court somewhere in Gaiki, and that has been adjourned to 27, where his lawyer will argue for his fundamental human right. Why? Because what the law requires is that it's either you hold person for 48 hours or you produce them in court, and they've not done that, and there's no warrant to keep him. Although the security agent had the right to apply for court for a warrant to keep it for further investigation.
Exactly, because we've seen that. We've seen something like this play out. It played out with what's his name now, MFL. And it kept him longer than all of that.
But you have to follow the due process. That's what the legal team are saying. Nothing of such has taken place. So therefore, the court at the FCT High Court has fixed Friday, 27th of February, which is Friday, for his argument.
I'm going to come back to you, but over to you, PK. Do you think that El-Rufai brought this on himself? I mean, after making the statements that he made on national television, those were very strong statements. Do you think that he was actually calling for it?
Well, yes, I think he was a little bit flippant with his lips, talking about them tapping, or I don't know how to pronounce it now.
Tapping.
Okay, whatever it is. There's a tip there, the voice of the NSA. I think it would have been a privileged information to him. Until you say there's nothing like that. But having said that, you can see that the whole three security organizations after El-Rufai. You have the ESCC, you have the ICPC, you have the DSS. Now, the DSS arrested him. At what point did they hand him over to ICPC? That's what we don't know. At what point? Now, they filed a charge against him that this is what he did. Now, they also want to produce him in court. They had a notice. The one that filed for the arraignment. They had a notice. They should have secured his availability from ICPC if they claim that he's with ICPC.
Yeah, because right now it is a question as to whether, who is actually supposed to produce him in court. The DSS wants him there.
So who arrested him in the first place? How come they handed him over to ICPC? Now, when they filed the case in court for him to appear in court, why did they make provision for him to be at the court? That's what we are asking. So it now becomes like a hunt for him, baseless, just to keep him away from the political scene. These are the things we are saying that should not happen.
How strong of a person, how big of a factor is he actually on the political scenes that we would say, they would go to such lengths to keep him away from it?
Maybe you don't toy with Malam El-Rufai today, even yesterday, that if you toy with Malam El-Rufai at the national level politically, you are digging your grave. You see, how that the city president is not in any way in disadvantaged position by way of changing the currency. He led 5 other governors to court to stop whatever the federal government as at that time was planning to do with the currency. And he told his people in Kaduna that don't bother to carry your money to the bank. When Tinubu comes back to office, you will use this money. And that's happened. Till today, we have 2 colors of 1,000 naira note, 500 naira note, and that's the work of El-Rufai. When the president went to Shanty House in London, when El-Rufai left, El-Rufai had been very consistent that Tinubu will not stay beyond 2027. So therefore, when the security apparatus are after him, one cannot help to say that they are trying to keep him away from circulation, because they know the power he wields. For instance, today in the north, there's a vacuum that is in the north, the vacuum created by the exit of Muhammadu Buhari. And El-Rufai seems to be feeding in that gap. And those politicians, the politicians know what that means if El-Rufai is not on your side. So that tells you how strong his voice is. And that is why his voice needs to be shot. And that's what they are doing.
Vicky, you agree that he by the late Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I don't really think so, but I know he's quite strong because he's a very opinionated individual, quite controversial as well, and liked and also disliked in same proportion. He's quite, if you say he's not strong, is at your peril. One of the things I know that he has a connection all around the country among the elites. Elite politicians. He can well go to the south and be welcomed there. He can go to the east and be welcomed there. He can go to the north, which is his base, as in the whole north, whether it's central, west, or east, and also be welcomed there and have a sway. He knows how to concede to people's demand very quickly and know how to adjust. So you can't underrate his influence. That's one. Secondly, he has been a part of ADC since its inception, a very vocal
You mean as inception as the coalition?
It was a coalition or was a merger, as a merger.
Okay,
he has been one of the founding fathers of APC as a merger. And from that founding father, he took his position. Merger. He took his position as one of the, will I say, a vocal person. All the tactics of the APC are within his fingers. He has a lot of secrets with him that he can also disperse, because when push comes to shove, you can hear him talk and say, this is what he did, this is what he did, this is what he did. At a particular point of Tinubu's campaign, he made a video and said he doesn't think Tinubu can go forward with his campaign because of his health issues. But they invited him to Chatham House, made peace with him, spoke on behalf of the president at Chatham House when they asked the president some questions. So you can see his influence when they went to court on the Naira issue. Of course, the Naira issue was orchestrated to make sure that the APC or the Tinubu campaign doesn't have enough cash to prosecute what they did, but he went to call himself a Yaya Bello and all that. But today is on the other side. So you cannot tell me that they won't be afraid that this man is quite dangerous. They go hand in hand together and they know themselves.
So then, based on both your agreement that he's very powerful or strong, a very strong player on the chessboard for 2027 and even beyond that, in this game of politics that politicians seem to be playing, you both would want to say that the statement that he made on air was not careless but audacious? Is that what you're saying?
Well, to me, I don't think it was audacious. I think it was careless. There are things
because he put himself here. This whole time, nobody came for him.
Yes, he was just trying to say that he's a juggernaut, that you can't really dispose him off like that.
I mean, if he's someone that is that known on that, I'm coming to you now. Yes. Someone that knows his onions that well and is that firmly rooted, wouldn't he know that is him actually calling for this? Because even before he made that statement, he had already making statements like, I won't be surprised if I'm going to be arrested. It's almost as though saying, I want you out to come.
He didn't say I won't be surprised if I'm arrested. He said I will be. There are plans to arrest me when I land in Nigeria.
He was not in this country. He knew he was going to be arrested. So the statement is very audacious. Let me tell you one thing.
But he was arrested based on those.
Yes, on that. So he who alleges will prove. They said he tapped and all of that. El-Rufai said yes. The conversation, the phone conversation. You see, how do the word tapping will be defined before the court of law? Is it by somebody was there who listened to the conversation, who feed El-Rufai back, or is he electronically tapped? All this need to be come before the court. You see, I have also said what El-Rufai has also said. If it is true that he was technically tapped or whatever, electrically tapped, well, that means that the country is not safe. If the NSA line that is securing the country is not safe himself. So what El-Rufai said is a big statement that implicates a lot of things. It's not just dragging El-Rufai to court. You have not saved yourself. The NSA himself is in jeopardy by this statement. So therefore,
we've seen things like this in America before. The WikiLeaks, the agents that gave some Russia people some information in the US. You see, these things can go on like that. But I don't think it's an audacious thing. He should have kept the secret to himself. He should have used it when he wants to use it.
It can be used. You don't have to indict
you don't have to indict yourself. So that's why I think it's not audacious at that moment. But this is it. I'm not sorry for El-Rufai, neither am I on the side of the federal government. My point is that the books are there, which is our constitution, which I think the federal government and its agencies undermine. If you want to play by the rule, play by the rule. If you want El-Rufai to go down as a result of what he has done that is bad, let him go down. But let us play it on the table and see how it goes.
Well, whether or not El-Rufai brought this upon himself, whether or not this is a witch hunt, like Okafor would always say, nothing wrong with a witch hunt if you catch a witch. The point is, the journey to 2027 intensifies, and whether we want to ascribe this to it or we do not, we will find out what happens in April. Until then, it seems like El-Rufai might still be in, I don't know whose custody at this point. Continue the conversation in the comments. And